Hello, lovelies. Welcome to our very first weekly well check-in at WX Wellness World. I'm so excited for you to be here. Thank you for taking the time to join us or watch this. And I hope you've been loving exploring the world so far. There's all kinds of tips and tricks we already have sprinkled throughout. I hope you're finding and enjoying it. And we have, of course, a whole lot more coming, including this weekly check-in. So I'm really excited to introduce the concept of the weekly check-in and just share a little bit about what you can expect in this space and what we'll be up to during this time. So the weekly well check-in is essentially a conscious container that we're creating, right? For us to all just set aside 30 minutes to, most importantly, connect with ourselves, right? And also to hopefully connect with one another in this space as we all are on our shared wellness journeys together, right? So, 30 minutes is not a lot of time, and I hope that eventually we can even maybe extend this container and the time period that we spend, but we figured 30 minutes once a week was a good place to start and a nice comfortable spot to kick it off. So again, really looking forward to spending this time with you. When we are together in this space, we'll really be focusing on tapping into our intuition, right? And just listening to our bodies, as well as, scanning our bodies and in relation with our whole wellness practice, how each element is going, right? And how overall, how our whole wellness journey is progressing. So as we've shared a little bit already in this space, you have probably seen in some of the descriptions and such, we've talked about whole wellness. And again, whole wellness is the idea that each aspect of our well-being is connected, right? And so the physical is deeply connected to the mental and nutritional as well as cultural. Each of them kind of feeds one another, right? And it's a cycle. So with whole wellness in mind, we will be, joining together in this space and just taking a moment, especially at the beginning of the week. I think starting on Mondays is going to be a really nice way to kind of start the week with intention and again, just being connected and remembering that we have this amazing community to support us, right? So that is, the general idea for what this space is going to be. And of course, if you can't join live, you are more than welcome to watch the recording later. And, we want this to fit into your routine and your rhythm, however best works for you, right? So it's just most important that you do create the time at some point in your week, hopefully, if you would like, if you feel like it's something that might benefit you or you would be open to trying it. So I do have a few notes here. I just want to make sure I don't miss anything. The invitation here, I want to stress again, it's just an invitation. We, along with believing, in the interconnectedness of wellness and the idea of whole wellness overall, we are also pretty firm believers that there is no right or wrong way to be well, right? Everyone has their own journey, everyone has their own experience, and I don't think anyone's is better than another. And we are not here to tell you that you're doing something wrong, right? We just want to support you in, again, taking the time to listen to yourself and to scan your wellness practice each week and decide for yourself, right? What feels good, what is going well, and whatever is feeling good, maybe do more of it, right? Or what your body is really enjoying or your spirit is feeding off of. We want to encourage you to continue that because overall this space should also be really enjoyable, right? And we want this to be fun. Wellness should be something that is a, increasingly positive aspect of our lives, and it should be something always that we enjoy. So this is, again, an invitation purely, but I am so grateful for your time and energy in joining this space. So we are kind of modeling this after my own daily practice is usually about 30 minutes, sometimes an hour. And that is just kind of a wellness practice that I started about 3 years ago. And I tend to do it in the morning. The morning works really well for me. I wake up early before everyone else is awake and have just some quiet time, often in the dark, to myself. And I like to use this 30 minutes of time doing some journaling and meditating. And so I, again, first and foremost, want to confirm that we're not going to be telling you what you have to do in this space, right? It's an invitation. If you don't want to journal or you don't want to meditate, or maybe some days you do and other days you want to do something else during this time or in this space, that is perfect, right? It's absolutely whatever feels good to you, okay? So please keep that in mind. But yeah, I like to use journaling and meditating just as a way to kind of get grounded and get centered. I have kind of a active mind and body, so starting this practice was really challenging for me, honestly, when I first began a few years ago. But I did find that over time and with practice, it is exactly that, a practice, and it did become easier, and I began to see the benefits quite quickly. And I honestly can say that this time in my day has probably been the most life-changing thing that I've ever done for myself. I grew exponentially as soon as I started this practice, honestly, and it's something that I continue to notice. If I miss a couple of days here or there because I'm traveling or something, or life got too busy, quote unquote, for this time for myself, I tend to get really out of whack, right? And to just not feel quite right, and often feel a little frazzled, and I really notice when I don't, when I'm not actively practicing. So again, I don't expect it to be life-changing for you all necessarily, but I hope maybe it at least, brings you some benefit and some joy. And as I mentioned, we will just be doing it once a week to start together in this space, right? You are welcome, of course, to practice this time more often. If you would like to do your own daily check-in, that's amazing. Please do. We love that idea. And we will actually be inviting, if you would like, if you're interested, to partner some of you up as accountability partners. If you would be interested in having someone to check in with daily, just to say, yes, I meditated today, or I journaled today, or I, even if it's just spent 5 minutes of a self-check-in time, we think that could be a really cool, beneficial, connection to have that accountability partner. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can comment below or email us, of course, hello@wxwellness.com. And yeah, just drop us a line if like, yes, I would be into that, and we'll figure out the logistics, and get it all together for you. So let us know if that's something that you'd like to explore. But so yeah, let's then maybe talk a little bit more about the details of this 30 minutes that we'll be spending together. I believe I mentioned we are not going to be telling you how to do this, right? How to spend this time. We are going to be maybe making some recommendations or giving you prompts. So, for example, I personally like to start with journaling in my practice, and that's because it just kind of helps me clear my mind and get really stable and understand what kind of is on my maybe subconscious. Even a lot of times when I start to write, it's subconscious, I find, that really starts to flow. So I find that I enjoy starting with journaling, and I also really like the practice of gratitude journaling. So gratitude journaling is exactly what it sounds like if you haven't heard about it before. It's just often, 2 or 3 or 4 things that you want to express gratitude for, right? And to just acknowledge that you're thankful for a few elements in your life that maybe are really positive for you, or things that are really going well, right? And I have found that with gratitude journaling, it helps me focus more also on, what is positive. And when we notice the positive more, I think that also is reflected then in our more physical reality, right? You've probably heard it said, like, what you think is what you become, or your thoughts will become things, right? So this is, it's just an idea, but again, it's something that I really enjoy doing, and I will likely invite you to also do gratitude journaling if you would like. You, of course, can also, just if you wanted to write about what is going well in your wellness practice and how things are progressing, or maybe you want to just write about challenges that you're experiencing, or you need to work through resistance that you're experiencing in some element. Again, you can use this time for absolutely whatever you would like, whatever you need. And so we'll probably get about maybe 10 or 15 minutes of journaling time in. I like to often do a full page, right? I'll just fill up a page. And again, you also can, if you would rather, journal after meditating and you want to meditate while some of us are journaling, that's also perfect. Totally fine, more than cool. We're just going to have some light music on in the background, really, and not speaking or anything. So you, again, can use this time however works best for you. Cannot stress that enough, really. But then, after we have the journaling time, I'll also then invite you to do some meditation. And again, with meditation, there is truly no right or wrong way, in my opinion. I will let you know, I am not a certified professional. I'm not a meditation coach, or I do not do guided meditation. I have worked with several professionals in the past and had a lot of mentors who do guided meditation, and we likely will have some certified professionals available in the space eventually for some guided meditation, if that's something that you would be interested in and would like to see. But that's not the point of this space that we're creating, right? This time is just for your own practice, and your own flow. We want you to flow with this time. So there are, though, of course, some things with meditation that, tips and tricks and stuff that might help some of you. So if you've never meditated before, it can sometimes be, a little uncomfortable, honestly, because we're not often used to just sitting still and being still and doing nothing for a while, right? Like consciously doing nothing. It's not super common at least in Western society, right? So it's okay if it feels uncomfortable at first. I think I shared it was very tough for me initially to meditate. And, I found, though, that the easier that I was on myself, the better it felt. And so, at first I would sometimes think like, oh, I let my mind wander, or I was thinking about something else and I wasn't really meditating, but honestly, you should never think of doing it wrong, or like shaming yourself for not, doing it like some of the other meditation professionals might say. I really just believe that whatever feels good to you is what's best for you, right? So listen to your body and know that, of course, your mind is going to wander sometimes, right? And that's okay. That's okay. It doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong. You can, just kind of gently bring your awareness back to yourself when you do notice if your mind is wandering, and continue, your meditation practice. And again, it is that exactly. It's a practice. It's a journey. And it's not like you're ever going to reach an endpoint where you say, oh, I am the perfect meditator and now I'm done, right? It's something that we'll always be working on. And so, yeah, I just really recommend taking it easy with yourself. And, eventually the more you practice, though, I think you will notice how cultivating the stillness during this time, even just for these few minutes, 10 or 15 minutes, it really makes a big difference throughout your entire day, and helps you feel more grounded and stable and still throughout your day. So there are a few other tips, that I have come across in my years of meditating, and most importantly, it's really essential to just be super comfortable, right? So if you, like right now, I'm just sitting on a little meditation pillow with my legs crossed, and super cozy here. You could also sit on like a really cozy couch, or even if your bedroom is nice and cozy and you just want to be cuddled up in your bed, that's totally fine. You can meditate lying down also. I really enjoy lying down sometimes for my meditation. I do typically try not to lie in my bed just because I will probably easily fall asleep. That's just me. But so I'll lay down on my yoga mat, and I have a blanket over me maybe to be just really extra cozy. I have also found it helps to, rather than have your feet or your legs out straight, when you're meditating, you can bend your knees and kind of put them in like a V like this. And for some reason, it helps me stay awake a little bit. I don't know if that would work for you or not, but just an idea of something to try. And then, I also really like to hold myself kind of like a hug. So if you put your left hand over kind of your chest or your heart, and your right hand over your stomach or even your womb space, feels really nice, especially if it's that time of the month for you, or it's coming or going, right? Our wombs deserve, I think, a lot of love and care. So I tend to, hold myself like this, and it just feels really nice, I think, in meditation. It's just kind of like giving yourself a hug. So that's another just, small tip that you could try. And then another is to be conscious of your breath, right? So our breath, obviously it's so automatic, often we don't pay attention to it. But if we bring awareness to our breath and just breathe naturally, even for just a moment, it feels really nice and kind of helps connect you to the present moment, right? And appreciate exactly where you are at this time. And that's another thing I really like, I guess, about meditation. And I hope you find this also, that the more I meditate, the more I feel just at home in my body. And it's always a nice way to remind yourself that, here in your body, you are always safe and you are in exactly the right place and exactly where you should be, right? And these beautiful bodies of ours. So that's just, again, a couple of tips for meditating. If it's something that helps you, great, and if you have any other tips of your own, maybe that you like to practice while meditating, please share. We obviously, this is one of the main points of this space, is to just share our own journeys and experiences, and maybe we can, help another, or at least just be connected, right? So yeah, please share any other information that you have that might be helpful. And one last element then of, the weekly check-in will be an invitation to share your experience. So after we journal and meditate, if there's anything that you want to just, talk through, or give an update about how something is going, or a breakthrough that you had so we can help celebrate with you, or a challenge that you're facing so we can just be there to acknowledge you and hear you and let you know that we're here for you, you will be invited and more than welcome to share. Of course, it's up to you completely, zero pressure whatsoever. And I should also mention, I don't know if I did yet, but you do not have to have your video on for this check-in at all. If you want to, that's awesome. That's great. I'll try to have mine on most of the time, probably while leading. But yeah, you do not in any way have to have your video on. It's perfectly fine if you would rather have it off and even muted, It's, again, whatever feels best for you. This is all about you doing you in this space, okay? So then last but not least, I also thought it might be fun, just as kind of a final thought, for us to close the space with, is by sharing an oracle card. So oracle cards are very different from tarot. You can use an oracle card really however you like. I tend to use, this is my deck that I really love, the Moon deck. One of my friends got me. And it's just really positive, uplifting mantras and kind of, thoughtful ways to start your day or your week in this case. I kind of use it as, like, if you have one of those daily calendars that has a quote or inspiration or mantra on it. You can kind of use it like that. So I thought it might just be fun for us to draw a card at the end of each of our check-ins, and then we can, if you would like, you can kind of apply it to your week, or use it as maybe a prompt for journaling later in your week, right? So this is right before this video, I went ahead and drew a card, and I drew a really fun one. It says, play is my pathway to joy. And I love the drawing. This illustration is beautiful. The women who created this deck are incredible. I think it was 3 women. So I'll put the link actually to the deck if you'd like. Here, I'll drop it in our comments. But play is my pathway to joy. I love this so much. Mostly because, you know, the WX space we're creating with you and the community we're creating with you, we really want it to be based in joy, right? And so I thought this was a pretty appropriate card, and it does come with a guidebook as well. So I'll just read the description for the card really quickly, and we can see what it says about play is my pathway to joy. So it is the joy card, and it says, many of us could use more playtime in our lives. If we march through our days being too serious, we dampen our joy, which is vital to our beauty and feminine nature. Now is the time to embrace your playful innocence. Give yourself permission to live fully in pursuit of what makes you feel joyful. The moments when you struggle with play or joy are opportunities to feel what is really going on inside. Notice your tendencies to tighten up. Then, wholeheartedly invite blissful joy into every cell of your being. You have an unlimited capacity to receive and express this lighter energy. Enjoy the pleasures of life without guilt, compromise, or excuses. I read that part. Allow curiosity to fill your eyes with wonder. Be like a child playing in the sand, with no fear of the waves sweeping away your castle. Over time, a happier outlook will become your home base. Play more and dazzle the world with your charm. That is such a beautiful card. I love it. And the ritual says ladies' choice. So everyone's choice, whatever makes you feel joyful. And they recommend maybe think about things that you like to do when you were a child. Whatever your favorite things were, maybe think about bringing that back into your life. And it says, get into the space of being a carefree child to turn the inner spark on again. So I absolutely love this idea. Let us know if you enjoyed, having this card read. And play is my pathway to joy will be our mantra for the week. I hope you enjoy it. And I think now I might go do some cartwheels, because I have to admit that's my favorite form of play and brings me the most joy. So I will be doing cartwheels. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And again, stay well. We'll see you here at the Weekly Well Check-in next week.